Hello and welcome to an inkdependence.com brief video review and water drop test. This time, Franklin-Christoph's Terra Firma. This is a new ink from their line. I just picked this one up at the DC Pen Show. I did a whole bunch of their other ones earlier this summer, and then they have another 4 that they handed me. These are in cute little bottles. Nice little sample size there rather than the giant full-size bottle. You won't get this one in the mail. You'll get the same bottle that you've seen in other reviews. This one is a kind of delicious brown ink. It's kind of a reddish brown, I suppose. Not really anything sticking there. I don't want to mess with that too much. Spill ink everywhere. You can see they've done the backlighting behind the name. That's very nice. I like them when they do that on these darker colors. But that's more or less what the color is going to be like. It is, I think, a bit more red in real life than it is on the bottle. As you can see there, it's got a little bit more red. And up here you can definitely see some shading and all that sort of jazz. An interesting thing about this ink is that it tends to look differently in different pens, depending on how much ink they're putting down, that sort of thing. Now a lot of inks do that, but this one's kind of extreme, I think. So I had this in this Sailor 1911, which is getting smoothed out by a good friend of mine, thanks very much, Jim, because it had some flow problems. So it's much lighter than the other two. I have it in this 27, which is this Franklin-Christoph right here. This is, I'm pretty sure, a broad stub. I think, oh man, I unscrewed the wrong way. There we go. I've always thought these pens ought to be threaded different ways, but maybe they are now. This is anyway a broad stub. It's a number 5 nib. It's kind of their smaller end of their nibs, but it is a broad and it does put out a fair amount of ink, and I really like this nib. It's one of my very favorites in my whole collection, and it's my favorite with this ink as well. I think it comes out a really nice color. So I'm going to move this down just a little bit. There you go. So you can see it's more of a brown, more of a little bit, it's kind of a lightish brown in this one. And then interestingly, in the Franklin-Christoph 03, which is this pen right here, this is the Anderson Pens version of the 03 that Franklin-Christoph does. And look at that beautiful acrylic, just gorgeous. I just picked this one up also at the DC Pen Show, and I thought it'd be a good idea to throw some of this Franklin-Christoph ink in it, so I did, and it's been in here ever since. I really like it. This is a medium stub, rather medium metallic. It's much sharper than the other, but you can see it's still got quite a bit of ink in there. I've actually re-inked this a couple of times because I really like this color in this pen. So anyway, it's kind of been living in there. But as I said, it looks differently in these different pens, and here, it's this line right here. Of course, you'll see it's much darker than the others. Yeah, I've zoomed in, so it's kind of a little bit fuzzy on my screen. Maybe it'll look better on the YouTubes, but here we go. I'll just hold it up closer to the lens. It's much darker, I think, but you can still sort of tell it's a brown, especially when it shades here, like on the M. You can still see a bit of shading. So if you're a person that uses this sort of ink in a more formal setting, then that'll be the way to go for you. Maybe a thin nib. It's still kind of generous, the ink flow. That'll be good. What else about this ink? You can see down here I have writing samples. If you want to see close versions of these, go over to the blog, of course, inkdependence.com, and you'll see all kinds of writing samples. Well, this kind of writing sample and a couple others. And then, here, there we go. Here are some comparisons. So I had a lot of things sitting on my desk. These are just kind of random things that were sitting on my desk. But I've got Terra Firma here, which is, as I said before, kind of a reddish brown. And then Tsukushi here from Irishizuku, which is the first time I've used this ink. And I really like it. I think it's like horsetail or something like that. But it's a really kind of, it's more chestnutty brown. And you can definitely see the difference between those two browns there. Then Aurora Blue, which is a pretty good middle-of-the-road blue as far as colors. And Loden, which we'll be seeing soonish. Black Cherry, soonish. And this one, Tenebrous Purple Oratum, which is an interesting name. I have to ask Scott where he got that one, which is a purple, of course. You'll see that one soon. These are the other 3 in this new set. And I have little bottles of all those. And then Dark Matter. I just decided to throw a black in there, and I've been using Dark Matter a little bit. So you can definitely see some variation in the color there. All right, so let's see how this one holds up underwater. Oh, there we go. That ought to do it. Jeez. Big bore syringe. My little one is all full of dirty water. Alright, so you can see the red sort of coming off there. Let's go ahead and push that up. You can see the red coming through the napkin here, actually. And there it is. The big reveal is that this is not at all water resistant. It comes right up. All the way off. No water resistance at all. So there you go. This one, don't get this one near water. Now, I knew that this was going to be the case because I have chromatography, and here it is. Alright, so this is what it ends up looking like. Look at this. And as you can see, here, where I originally dabbed that ink, there's really just nothing left. This one is not at all water resistant. It just comes all the way up. And not a whole lot of different colors in this one, actually. It's kind of got, I don't know, red, and then some maroon, and then some really dark tones. I'm not sure exactly what makes those up. Yeah, blackish or something? I don't know. Anyway, that's Terra Firma for you. So, it's Terra Firma, but it's not very firma under water. So, oh, that was awful. All right. Here is the copy paper test. We'll zoom out a little bit. And here are the, on this 20-pound Staples paper that I use for these, you can see the difference in the ink color is much more pronounced, I think. I'll zoom in just a skosh. There we go. It's much lighter here in this 1911. And then with the Franklin-Christoph 27, it's kind of it's a way better color. I really like this color, but it does bleed a bit. It's kind of a wet stub, so that's the sort of thing that happens. And then this medium metallic, I don't really have much bleed at all, but the color is less distinct as a brown. So that means if you're using it in an office or some such thing where you want to be a little more formal, that's a good way to go. If you want to have a beautiful brown, use something whiter. Here's on the back. This is a section right here is where that Terra Firma is. See this middle line where you get some bleed. This is, of course, that 27 with the broad stub. And then you got a couple of spots coming through here on the other, and a couple of spots up here with the 1911. So, you know, not too bad. It's fine. And you're going to see some stuff down here coming through as well. Some stuff up here really coming through. I think this one is Emerald of Chivor. Yeah, it's good old Emerald of Chivor. Oh, there's loading. No sneak peeks. Anyway, so there we go. That's the color in this guy, and I think the bleed is worth it on the 27. I'll just write on better paper with it. It's great. And then from the other one, great. All right, so I actually really like this ink. I don't know if you can tell, but it's quite good. Here is the bottle-ish. This is a tiny bottle. I don't actually know how many mils this is supposed to be, but this is a nice little sample-sized bottle. Anyway, there you go. This is Franklin-Christoph's new Terra Firma ink. I think that Lori might have actually named that one, so hey Lori. And there you go. So if you want to see this ink, go over to franklin-christoph.com. You'll see the link at the bottom of the screen here. Also, if you want to find out how to support this blog, the Ink Dependence blog, then go over to patreon.com/inkdependence to find out how you can help contribute. Even a little bit goes quite a ways when you're doing a blog like this, so that would be great, and I would really appreciate it. To all my actual patrons that are already signed up, hey, thank you a huge amount. Thank you so much for liking my blog enough to throw a couple of bucks a month at it. That's awesome. All right, so that's it. I'm Mike. This is Ink Dependence. That's Terra Firma. Peace out.